So did you want Chris to chair this meeting, or did you want to just do it from Zoom?
I'd say if she's there, let's have Chris do it.
Okay, she is here.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, Chris.
Here we go. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. And roll call, please.
All right, well, let's go a little out of order. Commissioner Tenza.
Here.
Commissioner Gadd.
Here.
Mayor Ah.
Recording in progress.
Here.
Vice Chair O'Shea Heidinger.
Here.
And Commissioner Thomas. And that's everybody.
All righty. And let's stand for a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Open the floor for general public input. Does anyone have any input?
It's just public input. You're an applicant, so you can probably just wait until your item comes up on the agenda.
Okay.
Unless you want to say something else.
Okay, and planning commissioners, do we have any conflicts of interest? No.
No.
None. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move. Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tenza.
Yes.
Commissioner Gadd.
Yes.
Mayor Ah.
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Shea Heidinger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the public hearing agenda. A 2024-28, 55 West North Street, use by review and variance. We have a staff person to report.
Yes, SEH contract planner Dan Murphy will do the staff presentation.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dan Murphy, with SEH, working on behalf of the town of Bayfield. Before I begin, I did receive a letter of public comment just before the meeting that I'll read. Was requested to be read into the record this evening. I did print copies if anybody wants them, but I'll read it here in just a second. Before you tonight is a request for a vacation rental use by review permit and a variance for the real property located at 55 West North Street in the town of Bayfield. The applicant's requesting consideration for the establishment of a VRBO in accordance with section 410 of your land use code. On top of that, the applicant is also requesting a consideration for a variance from the land use code, which sets forth a minimum requirement setback of 500 feet from existing vacation rentals. Rather, the applicant proposes their VRBO would be roughly 303 feet from an existing vacation rental. Public notification was distributed to the Herald and surrounding property owners prior to this hearing in accordance with your town code, and a list of the property owners and certified mail receipt has been provided to the Community Development Office. There's a two-part review of this project that was submitted to us. First is section 311, which are the criteria the Planning Commission shall review for conformance with uses subject to review. Staff has provided an analysis in your staff report, including item 311, B11, and all the way through item H. Staff did find the use by review requests to be found in general conformance with your land use code. The second portion that we reviewed the criteria against was section 2-12 for variance requests. There are 3 criteria that have to be met for a variance to be approved by the town. Staff did find, by and large, the hardest bar to meet typically is number 1. Are there any extraordinary circumstances? are not self-imposed hardships. It was found that vacation rentals are not transferable. So anytime somebody else wants to do this with this house, should it be sold, they'd have to come back through and you'd hear it again. And also the change of the land use code in 2022 is not self-imposed by the property owner. Rather, it was a town code amendment. And the other portion of this review we added was that there are already existing vacation rentals within 500 feet from each other. Based on my capacity as a consultant for the town right now, I would implore you to take a look at that limitation. If this becomes commonplace, you may want to consider a code amendment. If you've already approved a few of these and you have another one before you, so there's multiple applications for something that's worth considering. Other than that, staff did review your comprehensive plan for general conformance. The subject parcel is currently zoned TC or town center, and the future land use map in your comprehensive plan has the property identified as mixed use. There were a few general recommendations and policies that align with this application that staff did find favorable. Agency referrals were sent out to numerous entities, including but not limited to LPEA, CenturyLink, Upper Pine, Colorado Department of Transportation, and Salem Basin Public Health, which is now Apata County Public Health. Referral agencies that responded back had no negative comment or any opposition to the request. Noted in your staff report, which was published prior to this evening, we did receive one letter of comment, and I did receive one today just before the meeting that I mentioned. Miss Nicole Fuller requested that I read this into the record. And so I'll read it starting now. Quote, "Hello, I am Nicole Fuller. I own the home directly next to this proposed VRBO. I have owned a home in Bayfield since 2000. I'm a Bayfield business owner. I am 100% in support of Tina and Dan renovating this old eyesore home. This will not only help rejuvenate and regentrify downtown, but also bring much needed accommodations to visitors to Bayfield. Please allow these folks to build a vacation rental. Please consider reading my letter at the meeting tonight. I'm sorry I cannot attend in person. Thanks, Nicole Fuller." Excuse me. Thanks, Nicole Fuller, 31 West North Street, Bayfield, Colorado, 81122. Phone number 970-769-2435. Nicole Evan 123 at msn.com. End quote. Staff has prepared 3 possible motions for the Planning Commission to consider. Action item A, action item B, and action item C are disclosed in your staff report, and I believe we'll take that up during the action item agenda forthcoming.
Thank you. Let's move on to the action agenda.
So you want the applicant to do the presentation as well during the public hearing?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a presentation by the applicant?
If you want to introduce yourself and anything you'd like to add.
Sure.
And up at the mic, yeah, at the podium.
I'm not very good at this, and I didn't come prepared to talk. I did come with the letter, she sent it to me too. My name is Tina, my husband and I, Dan, bought the house at 55 West North Street. We were residents here for over 10 years. I'll still live here, we're just between Durango and Bayfield now. All 3 of our kids have graduated from Bayfield High School. One of the things we thought would be fun and important is there's no place to stay in Bayfield. I know when my kids graduated, people that came from out of town went to Durango. There just wasn't really a place. I was also told, and I don't know if it's changed, but they were allowing, it was either 12 or 15 homes that they would approve. They did notify me there was one approximately 300 feet from me, and I know about the ones on Mill Street. I don't feel like this would have a huge impact as we wouldn't be on the same street together. We'd be around the corner. I know there's the one with the wedding venue. I have not met them. Thinking that if people were coming here to get married, maybe it would be nice to have another place close by rather than people always having to drive to Durango, which I love Durango, but sometimes it's just kind of nice to be close to home. We're completely renovating we'll be painting the outside, rebuilding the front porch. I think I have a face to your name now, right? A few people. It's been an adventure already. The tenant in there was there for 13 years. I don't think the homeowners did anything to the house in that 13 years, but we'll be redoing the porch. We want to do the electrical underground, new sidewalk. The inside will be completely renovated. We're going to add parking both to the front left side of the house as well as possibly to the back. Yeah, just fix it up, make it look cute. It's a cute town, there's a lot of potential, so we're hoping it'll work. Any
All right.
questions?
None here.
Not for me.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, now, let's move on to the action agenda.
You want to, this is a public hearing, so you want to have public input, Chris, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I know.
So if any public input to this,
I should know how to do this.
that's okay.
Do we have any public input?
Good evening, Cat Ketsos, 525 Dove Ranch Road. When you say around the corner, I'm just looking at the map where the property is. When you say around the corner, like where around the corner? So if you're standing in front of the house, is it directly to your left and then around the corner, or is it a couple?
From what?
The VRBO, your proposed VRBO to the other VRBO?
So there's
On
there.
Mill Street or the wedding venue?
So here is a map.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the Columbine Ranger Station, and here is the property.
Oh, got it. And then where's the other?
The other ones are down here.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Never mind.
Are you the wedding?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No, no, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was just gonna introduce myself.
Just a citizen that wanted to know where the other VRBO was, and that's fine. Yeah. Okay, yeah. No problem.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, thank you. Now,
Does the planning commission have any questions or other concerns
does
about
the
this?
planning commission have any questions or other concerns?
I have one question. Why does the ordinance say 500 feet between them? Do we,
That was adopted by the Board of Trustees.
was there, I mean, why 500? Why not 300? Or, I mean, was there a reason for the I'm just guessing, I want to know the thought process behind the 500 feet and why.
I think part of that was to keep neighborhoods. Instead of having, 500 feet would be at least far enough away that there wouldn't be any traffic associated with the two close together. I don't know if that was just a choice at the time, but 500 feet was what they determined when that ordinance was passed.
Okay. I was just wondering the reasoning behind it.
Can I ask just a general question as a citizen?
You'll have to come to the.
Not of you.
No, I just.
Can you state your name and address?
Yeah.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Todd Lyon. I live at 1455 North Mountain View Drive. What does Bayfield get out of this?
So there is sales tax, and then there's a lodging tax that La Plata County collects. So there's a certain amount of, a small amount of sales tax that we
So
collect.
the county gets a
Lodging tax.
When you say sales tax, is that like each night that it's used, there's a tax on it?
So it's 6.9% that is collected state, county, and town, and the town is 3% of that.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
You know, if you get, if Bayfield suddenly just becomes one giant hotel, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, and I think that's probably the reason for the 500 feet between them. And also, and a couple months ago, they reduced the number of Airbnbs that would be allowed in the town without doing a code change.
Okay. Just trying to learn.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's Dan Murphy again. Your town limits the entirety of the in-town limits to 30. That's your cap on. The town code currently has a cap on VRBOs, and that's 30 within the town limits.
And how many do we have?
I don't quote me on this, but I believe 4. This would be potentially the 4th, from my understanding at least.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. I think
That'd be
there's-
within the town limits,
I think
correct?
there's about 8.
Okay,
right
8.
now.
Sorry, yeah.
It's all right.
There's a list of them on our website. I'll look.
So it used to be 30, but we reduced them to 50,
To
Okay.
15, yeah. Just recently.
just recently, yeah, so you find them again.
Any other questions or concerns? None? Let's move on to the action agenda.
Thank you,
For the
Chris.
third time.
I have one thing, I'm sorry. I just want everyone to know, my husband and I live here locally, so we would be the ones very involved whichever way we end up going. If it gets approved, we're the ones taking care of it. My daughter will help with the computer stuff, because I'm not super great at that, but it's not like we're gonna be out-of-state owners allowing parties in a neighborhood. So,
Okay, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the October 8th, 2024 minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
One second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tenza,
Yes.
Chair Gad,
Yes.
Mayor Ah,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Shea Heidinger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to action agenda 3B, 2024-28, 55 West North Street, use by review and variance. Do we have any discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree that the town needs more places people can stay if we have guests. Instead of sending them off to either the tribe or the hotel over there or into Durango, it's nice to have people locally. It also helps because they're gonna wanna eat, which means it'll help the restaurant, again, create some sales tax availability. And I think it's just, we don't wanna overdo it, but I think there is definitely a shortage of rental housing for visitors or guests that we have as we live in town, so I like this idea.
I agree. Any other discussion? I would entertain a motion to approve this use by review and variance with the conditions stated in the packet.
Brian, you make this motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 55 West North Street vacation rental and variance, with the findings and conditions as noted in the staff report.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tenza,
Yes.
Chair Gad,
Yes.
Mayor Ah,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Shea Heidinger.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so we have approved the use by review and variance.
thank you.
Let's move on to action agenda C, Planning Commission member recommendation. And we have a letter of interest in the packet. Did you want to say anything, Mr. Lyon?
Sure.
How's everybody doing tonight? So I tried to get on the board of trustees and failed. Everybody said, well, you should start with the planning commission. And so now I'm here trying to find out what you guys do. My family's been in real estate. I grew up around real estate, so I do understand what you guys do. And I'd just like to join. Is there any questions you have after reading my short little introduction?
No questions. Anyone else have any questions? Nope? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Huh?
That was easy.
Oh, I thought you had a question. I was ready for questions.
So do we vote on this?
You make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees to fill the vacancy. And I'm sorry, I don't remember. There's a couple terms because you have 2 vacancies right now.
Okay.
And I'll just verify that with the Board of Trustees when they make that decision. But you still could make the recommendation.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to recommend Mr., is it Lyon, to the Board of Trustees for membership on the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tenza,
Yes.
Chair Gad,
Yes.
Mayor Ah,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Shea Heidinger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and so the Planning Commission will recommend to the board.
And then they vote.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your interest. Item 4, discussion and adjourn. November 19th, 2024 is the next Board of Trustees meeting. December 10th, 2024, next Planning Commission meeting.
So the question to the Planning Commission, if we don't have any action to take other than the minutes, would the Planning Commission be okay with basically just delaying those minutes until January?
I'd be fine with that.
I don't know what's coming up that would make the agenda.
We have one application in review that it's like it's going to be ripe for the December 10th Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, but just in case.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Any discussion of that?
Jim left.
I would say absolutely we push it to January if we don't have anything else to look at.
Okay, I agree.
All right. Well, if we do have an applicant, you'll get a packet,
All
an
right.
agenda.
All right. Do I need to have somebody move to adjourn, or I just adjourn?
You can just adjourn as
This
the
meeting is adjourned.
vice chair. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.